You got your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Let me try to get you to think about money a little differently, in a way that you probably have not been trained to think about money. There are certain ways in which society wants to train you on how to view your money and what its role is in your life. So most people view money as a thing I need to pay my bills. I gotta make money. I gotta go to my stupid job to pay my stupid bills. I gotta pay my stupid electric bill. I gotta buy groceries. I gotta put gas in my car. I gotta put gas in my car to go to work so I can pay my bills. I love that cycle. I gotta pay my stupid rent. I gotta pay my dumb house payment. I have to pay my rent, so I gotta go to work and work at my stupid job to pay my stupid rent. Okay, that's how most of humanity exists in that mindset. I would say at least 90%, 95% of people, that's where they are. I've got to work. I got to pay my fucking bills. That's how it is. So it is a survival mechanism. That's what money is for. Money is a survival mechanism. And that doesn't mean that you're poor or low income. You can have these feelings and have these thought processes in your head at a reasonably high level. Just talking to a guy, friend of mine, last week, older guy, older than me, and high income guy, six-figure income guy, beta male, high income beta. And he had 3 kids, has 3 kids, and he's going, oh man, that's my next mountain, man. That's my mountain, is college. I got to send all 3 of my kids to college. Do you have any idea how much money that's going to cost me? Oh man, he's stressing out about his college for his kids. Of course, I said, your kids shouldn't go to fucking college. But he was a beta male, so he's like, what do you mean? That doesn't make sense. Anyway, he was fine, but he viewed money as this thing I have to make to pay my bills, this thing I have to do to fulfill my obligations as a father, as a husband, or whatever. That's simply this thought process at a slightly higher level. The 6-figure guy who's stressing out about paying for college for his kids, useless college, for his kids, versus the low-income poor guy who's struggling to put gas in his car and pay his bills. Okay, so that's the first level, if you want to view this as levels. The next level beyond that is money is a way for me to buy cool shit. Because I want a cool car, man. I want a cool house, and I want some cool threads, and I want to wear cool shoes. Or maybe it's a lifestyle thing. I want to travel. Man, I want to travel wherever I want. I had that goal. That was a goal I had for a long time. I want to be able to travel. Or maybe it's that on a higher level. Maybe it's, I want a private jet like Grant Cardone. I want a yacht with a bunch of bikini bitches and hoes, and I can shoot machine guns off the yacht like Dan Blazerian. Yeah. Well, now, that's the next level. Is money is a mechanism to buy something cool. Nothing wrong with that in and of itself. The problem with that is it can cause you to ignore other things. I am not an anti-materialist. I'm not a minimalist. I'm semi-minimalist. Less minimalist as I make more money. But anyway, I don't have a lot of stuff, but I have a nice house. I drive a decent car. So I have that to a degree. Now, in terms of buying a car, this is my example. I've mentioned this before. I could afford to go buy a Lamborghini right now. If I wanted to, I could go pay cash and buy a Lamborghini. I don't drive a Lamborghini. I drive a Lexus. I drive a $40,000 Lexus rather than a $200,000 Lamborghini. So I have some of these material thoughts, but I don't have a massive amount of them because there's a certain place, because there's a certain time and place for those types of thoughts. There's nothing wrong with those as long as they don't distract you from other things. So that's probably the next level, is you get past survival level and now you're at I want nice stuff level, okay? Which is fine to a degree. The next level beyond that, which is a very small percentage of humanity, is, in terms of thought process about your money, money is a mechanism that sets me free. Money creates freedom. So if you start at a place where you say to yourself, I want my money to make me more free, instead of, I want my money so I can pay my bills, or I want my money because I want to buy a cool car. If you instead say, especially from the very beginning, I want my money to set me free, it forces you to make very different sets of decisions for your life. So the guy who says, I need to pay my bills, what is he going to do? He's going to go get a job. And he's going to stay at a job for the rest of his life, right? If he's a slightly higher level, he'll go to college and then get a job, right? The guy who wants to buy a cool car or get a cool private jet or whatever, he might get a job. He might try to climb the corporate ladder. He might try to start a business and make $1 billion and hire a bunch of employees and stress them out and freak himself out and do all that kind of stuff. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, if he succeeds, and maybe he won't. Odds are he won't, right? But the guy who says, I want my money to set me free. I want my money to facilitate a more free lifestyle. He's going to make a very different set of decisions. That's Alpha Male 2.0 in a nutshell, is that I want my money to set me free. Therefore, can I get a job If my objective for my money is to set me free, can I go get a job? No, can't get a job. Now, if I currently have a job, that's okay, but I need to work on getting rid of that job so I can be more free. Can I just go start any business I want? Can I just go start any random business, any old type of business? No. Because if I just start a typical business, I will be enslaved by my business rather than set free by my business. And I can tell you, as a business consultant with over 20 years of experience, most business owners are not free. Even the ones who make a lot of money. Matter of fact, in many cases, especially the ones who make a lot of money. Okay, so that's not it either. You can't just start any business you want. Instead, you have to start an Alpha 2.0 compatible business. One that is location independent, one that is very high margin, one that doesn't require a lot of work hours to maintain per week. Okay, one that doesn't have a lot of infrastructure, a lot of employees, a lot of overhead, one you don't pay a lot of taxes with. Very different type of company than the typical business. And so when you have this mindset of, I need my money to help set me free, it forces you to delete the other option that the other 90-95% of humanity takes, right? Because you're starting from a baseline of, I want my money to make me more free. Also, in terms of purchases. So if your objective is, I want my money to set me free, are you going to put 5% down on a giant fucking house, on a 5% down loan or a 10% down loan and go into debt? No, you're not. Because you understand that kind of debt is not going to set you free. It's very dangerous to do, okay? So not just in business, but also in terms of managing your money. Where does your money go? How do you spend your money? What you spend your money on, what you don't spend your money on, how you invest your money, how much debt you incur and don't incur, the types of businesses you start. All those decisions are made via, I want my money to set me free. That's been my view. How does my money set me free? I didn't always have that view. When I was very young and I was 18 years old and I first moved out of my house, I was starving and I could barely buy any food. And I remember going down to the grocery store and handing out, you didn't swipe your card back then, you handed it to the guy at the grocery store, my $300 credit limit student Visa card. And as he swiped it, I was hoping that it would have enough credit on there so I could buy enough food so I could eat that night. So in terms of right then and there, I was focused on survival. Now I got past that pretty quick. Made a lot of money pretty quick, or made a higher income pretty quick. But then for a long time it was, I want my money to buy me cool stuff. Not for a long time, but for a few years. But then by the time I hit 30, I realized by mistake and I shifted over to, I want my money to facilitate my freedom, to make sure I live a more free life in terms of day-to-day schedule and in terms of options. Also in terms of long-term longevity, all those things, okay? Once you're there, it changes everything in your life. And again, I'm gonna say this again, there's nothing wrong with wanting your money to buy cool shit. That's okay to a point, as long as you don't go crazy with it. To a point, it's okay. Just don't go crazy with it. Focus on your freedom first, and then your cool stuff second. You can have both, I have both. But your freedom should be the baseline of how you view your money in your life, okay? Very important.